So what's so special about football?
It's just a wonderful game. When you grow up, and in our age anyway, that's the first thing you did. You played football in the street, etc. And you can't do it nowadays, obviously, but it's great. It's good exercise. Makes you feel good.
What got you into football?
What got me into football? Well, when you was young in our day, there was no television to watch, and I think most kids was out playing in parks and exercising much more than what they do now. And it was like, as Jimmy said, it was. We thought it was the best sport to be in, and we loved it. We loved playing, and we used to play day and night football.
So we did.
Almost 7 days a week when we were kids.
How would you describe football in 3 words?
Very, very good.
A great sport to be in. That's 4 words.
Yeah.
Have you always supported the same team?
Yes. We're Spurs supporters, both of us.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So what got you into Enfield Football Club?
I came here in 60, was it 60? Whatever.
You came a year after me.
Yeah. I played at Hendon.
same,
I played at Hendon for a number of years, from when I was a young lad of 15, 16, and I came here because we had a difference of opinion with the board at Hendon in 1960, and I came to Enfield with a lot of my friends, because Tommy Lawrence and Roy Thomas, who were members of Hendon Club in the late 50s, they were here, so they invited me over here. And I stayed a couple of years here. Bobby was already here, I think, wasn't he, Bob?
Well, yeah, it was a similar experience for me. I was playing for Barnet at the time, and Tommy Lawrence had just come to Enfield, I think, the season before.
Yeah.
And he was trying to recruit some of the best players from around that league, wasn't he? And I think a lot of us came
All in one place at one time.
At the same time.
What are your high and lows of your football career?
Highs, playing at Wembley, winning 2 cup finals at Wembley, playing international football for Ireland, winning league championships with Enfield and Hendon, and all the other cups that were available at the time. And the lows was breaking my leg in '66, from which I didn't really recover. Highs and lows. That's really basically it from my point of view.
It's pretty similar from mine as well. I was lucky enough to play in 4 Wembley Cup finals with 3 different teams, one being Enfield, of course. And another high was the fact that I went on 6 Middlesex Wanderers tours.
Oh yeah, Wanderers. Yeah.
Which was the unofficial Great Britain team. So they were really great experiences.
Where did we go, Bob?
We went to the Caribbean, West Indies, the Far East. I went to Iceland. I went to Africa twice with the Wanderers, and in them days, 50 years or so ago, there wasn't many people that were having similar experiences of travel. So it was a really great thing, you know, to see the world and play football, which you loved at the same time.
Which football player has really inspired you?
No one really. No, really. You just, in our day, because there's no television, etc., and very little film, you just played, and that was it. You didn't. The press was not as big as it is now, so everything was under the radar, as it were. There certainly were some great players about, but you never really thought about those. It's just that you got on with your own game and did as best you could. It wasn't much about, was there?
Well, yeah, although being a Spurs supporter as well, Dave Mackay was a great inspiration, I thought, in those days for me, which I used to play in a similar position, and he became a friend of mine as well in later life. So that was great inspiration from Dave Mackay.
What other exercises did you do to keep fit?
Oh, keeping fit. Well, our weekly rota was, in the beginning of the season, you trained 3 or 4 times a week, really, before the season started in the evenings, because we were all working, basically. and then come the season, the game started, you probably played Saturday rather, and again on Tuesday, training on Thursday, playing on Saturday. So over a period of a month or 2 months, you became quite fit because you played at least twice a week, even right through the season, right through winter, really, wasn't it? You played basically twice a week. So one game took the place of training sessions. If you didn't have a midweek game, then you were training, which was much easier to play rather than go training. That's boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
But the difficult part was the pre-season training.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't so fit when you started it, and that was hard work for possibly 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And
sweated blood.
that was really tough, the pre-season.
Does football interest you until today?
Not hugely. I look at the scores from time to time, and I watch it about 5 or 10 minutes maximum at a time on television, but I find I've lost track of it somewhat, really.
Could you imagine your life without football?
I do now, yes, quite easy, but not then. There's a whole life. Every minute of every day, there was something that cropped in your mind that you wanted to do, you wanted to play, you're looking forward to playing against certain people, or again, not wanting to play against certain people who knew they're out to get you. But nowadays, no, I've gone past all that stage.
But I'm a season ticket holder at Tottenham still, so I still follow Tottenham, and I'm there as often as I can. As long as I'm in the country, I go to the games.
Has your family been very supportive?
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, it was a basic job really in our days. That although you went to work, at least most of us did, it was the main object. You sort of lived to play the football on the Tuesday and the Thursday and the Saturday, etc., and play big games, league games, play cup games, and some of us were successful, some were not. But that's what you did in those days. There was, as you probably said, there was no TV or that sort of thing to interrupt you. That was all you had to do.
It was important that they were supportive, because we used to spend so much time at football and travelling and training, tours as well. And
well, I suppose we basically, basically what would be down now, we were basically professionals as such without being paid. You know, we spent the time playing football and touring, etc.
Yeah, some of the tours were a month long.
Yeah.
A month long, particularly with the Middlesex Wanderers and that. They used to go on month-long summer tours. So the family was at home with us. They probably enjoyed it.
Yeah, be quiet without us. Yeah.
Have you always lived in Enfield?
I've never lived in Enfield, as it happens. No, I've always lived. Let me think now. I was in Harrow most of the time, Borough of Harrow, and it's only sort of on the doorstep of Hendon. And I came here for I think 3 or 4 years, so travelled back and forth. I think I've always been over that northwest area rather than this area.
So, no, I grew up in Islington, and I moved to Enfield, which I still live in Enfield, but I moved there about 40 years ago. So I've lived in Enfield for the last 40 years.
What has been your most memorable game?
With Enfield, we won the league 2 years on the spin, and also won every home game, every home league game for 2 years. No one took a point of us. Is that right, Bob? No one took a point of us in 2 years of play. That's 30 games.
Yeah.
Must be 30 games in those days. Yeah.
Apart from the cup finals I played in, one of the most memorable games was when we played Reading in the FA Cup at Reading, and we drew 2-2 at Reading. We were 2-0 up with 20 minutes to go, and unfortunately we lost in the replay at Enfield. We lost 4-2 in extra time. And that was 2 fantastic games against Reading in 1963, I think.
Yeah,
1963, around there.
How would you describe the supporters of Enfield Football Club?
I mean, when we used to play, the crowds were quite large in comparison to what they are today, probably. Weren't they? They were in our old ground down the road here. It's quite busy, I suppose. Quite a few thousand used to come and watch us. Yeah, typical of any supporters. They wanted to support their own team, etc. And when you went away, you got the aggravation that you sometimes get when you go away to other teams, especially if you're top of the league, as we were.
Yeah, they were very enthusiastic and a good support. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, great support.